Gentlemen, a short view back to the past as we head back to 2020, 4 years ago now, almost. The year the pandemic arrived and the world was on lockdown, and so was Formula 1. However, as always, the show must go on, and when Formula 1 eventually returned, 2020 was a year for the history books. Of course, Hamilton won his 7th World Championship and currently final World Championship. Mercedes, of course, also won another Constructors' title, but those weren't the big takeaways from the year because we knew that was going to happen. After the first race, Mercedes were absolutely dominant. This car, the W11, was an absolute beast, and we've covered it multiple times on the channel. The reason why 2020 was an epic year, a historic year in Formula 1, is because the calendar was essentially thrown together last minute and always subject to last minute change. So we had a combination of first time venues and returning classics. One of those was this circuit, the Nurburgring, for the Eifel Grand Prix. And this man, Valtteri Bottas, put it on a surprise pole with a 1:25.269. So with that in mind, we're going to try and beat his pole time, and also I think this is going to be a fun one as it is a bit of a different circuit to what we usually do these videos on, and not one we're going to see all that often. So with that in mind, guys, if you're going to enjoy this video and this special episode, there'll be a few more of these from this season on the way, then leave a like and let's try and smash over 1,000 likes on this episode. Subscribe if you're new, and let's get into it as we get our first time lap underway. So DRS open as we head down towards turn 1 in the Mercedes of Bottas, the W11. Braking at 100. Car feels very sluggish right now. We are on a set of medium tyres, but they're quite hard, so they're going to really struggle to find grip. Even though they're up to temperature, there's just not a lot of tyre biting into the tarmac right now. You can see I'm really struggling here with the slow corners. Hopefully we can find a bit of downforce in the fast stuff. Using the camber here as we head into, I believe, the Schumacher S. No, the Schumacher S is up ahead, isn't it? That's the fast speed chicane. My bad. Sector 1 though, in the books. Down to the hairpin. Oh, got the car stopped. Very, very deep. You can sort of take that line though. It does kind of work a V-shape. Now we arrive at the Schumacher S, the chicane. Not really much of an S, but that's the name it's been given. And now into this 90-degree right, which I really enjoy. A little bit of camber on the way in, although we completely ignore it and run wide. And then this downhill right where the car just naturally finds a bit of downforce and a bit of grip. Slight bit of camber on the way in, so it just helps the car rotate. And now we head down the back straight, which isn't much of a straight in these absolute machines. They're so fast in the straight, it just chews it up like nothing. And then through the chicane, we drift and bounce and lock up our way through, but we get through it. And now through the final corner, we're going to close out the lap. 25.2 to beat, and we say 34.2. Whoa. Whoa. Okay. Nearly pretty much 9 seconds away. Yikes. Now, one thing I've realised is that I have actually set the track condition to pretty poor quality. It's on 96 when I usually run it on 98, even 100 sometimes. So that might contribute to some of the lap time. Either way, I want to see if we can still get it done. Hopefully there'll be some track evolution and we can still do it. So we're now on a softer set of tyres. I've also taken out some of the fuel and increased the wings. So this should help us out quite a lot. So let's see if we can clean this up. Front right is a bit cold. On the anchors into 1. There's just very little mechanical grip with these track conditions, so I may have to go back to the drawing board and change these real quick. We'll see what the lap is before we make those changes. But I can just tell we're struggling massively here to find any sort of low speed rotation or grip. And now the final corner. Let's see then, up to the line. 31.9. Yeah, we might have to just readjust this a little bit. So, be right back. Okay, so I've made the adjustments. Now we're going to see if we have what it takes. We're going to find out. I may still have to make some more adjustments to the track as well to get a bit more up to speed and a bit more to kind of real life pace. Anyway, I'm now on an even softer set of tyres, so now we're pretty much there. We're also going to run a bit more engine mode, so this is going to be a proper test to see if we're going to be anywhere near the ballpark, anywhere near the region. So let's try again, and let's give it full beans. This car does not like turn 1. The brakes don't feel like they have a lot of stopping power. Turn 2. Carrying way more speed. Got to be careful of the AstroTurf on the outside. Turn 3. This time we get the apex. Probably could have gone second there to be fair. Turn 4. Got no references, no splits. So we're going to find out once we finish the lap what the lap time's going to be. This time in 5th gear through there. Car finding way more grip. I reckon we'll shave off quite a few seconds with these adjustments. Through the hairpin. A bit of wheel spin on the way out, but that's okay. Schumacher S. Dealt with. This is where there's a bit of time. Braking a little bit earlier. Get that camber down on the inside of the left. Had to wait there a little bit to pick the throttle up on the exit through the right. And now into the chicane brake just before the 100. That's more like it. Straight over the curbs. Back end cooperating as we get the power down, and now through the final corner carrying a lot more speed. Trying to straight line power down, up to the line. 28.9. Still a long way away. Still a long way away. Might have to crank it up again here. Track still feels a bit slippy in the low speed. So now I think we have the perfect formula. So just to compare and see what the track grip's saying in terms of, you know, overall performance, I'm running the exact same setup as the last run. So I just want to purely compare track grip levels and see if we're in the right ballpark. So I think this will be it now. I think we've got it spot on. So let's get to it and let's get the lap underway. So same engine mode, same everything. Let's try and get a nice clean lap together, and let's give ourselves a good delta. 25.2 to beat. Not planning to beat the lap on this run, but I'm hoping to get pretty close. That was much better through turn 1. A bit wide there, track limits onto the Astro. But this won't be our final attempt. We'll probably go quicker than this, although it was a little bit scruffy through turn 3. So let's see. Into the left, 5th gear. There's a lot more grip now, especially in the medium to high downfalls. Back in there, slight bit of slip on the way out, but we keep it under control. Braking at the 50 as we head through the hairpin. Trying to carry some speed all the way through and on the way out. Schumacher S. Easy flat. And now the crucial left and right. There's the downfalls, there's the grip. Can I keep it at 5th through here? Probably could if I got a bit closer to the apex. Down the back straight. We know where to brake now for the chicane. Made a small brake bias adjustment so the rear isn't slipping as much, or locking on the rear. Now the final corner. Give a bit of throttle on. Out of the final corner. Here we go, up to the line. 27.3. Okay, now we're talking. Still a long way to go, a lot of time to find. 2 seconds, 2.1, but at least we're somewhat in the ballpark now. So now we should see a big difference. We're going to plug some extra horses into the back of this Mercedes, and we're now going to run full power, so this should give us a true indication of what we're looking at, and essentially not really anything left in terms of sandbags, maybe a bit of fuel, but that's about it. So let's get into it and let's send it full commitment on this lap. That was not ideal, way too deep into turn 1, but we'll try it and pull it back. I have to readjust my braking points with the extra horsepower with the engine mode and party mode engaged. This time though, getting our apexes through 2 and 3. Still feel like there's not a lot of grip though through those slow sections, especially in sector 1. Up by 0.2, which isn't a whole ton, but the engine mode will do damage through the rest of the lap as we get to stretch our legs a little bit. Through the hairpin. Back end slipping a little bit on exit again, but then we're going to let the horsepower do the talking up the hill through the Schumacher S. Now into the left. Had to just get off the throttle there. Track limits. carried way more speed though through the right. Slight correction on DRS as I closed it for a split second. Hairpin. Or chicane, should I say. A little bit hot. Got to readjust my braking point with this engine mode on. Well, let's see what the lap is going to be through the final corner. Power down. DRS. Oh wow, 26.7. Oof, 1.5 to fine. Okay, this could get interesting. Right, next lap. Best lap. I'm going to go for a sweat and see if I can improve. Oi, oi, oi. Oi, 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 oi. I reckon I can go quicker than that and probably get within a second. But that might be it. That might even be the lap. I'll take that. That's a good lap. It's not enough, but it'll do. 26.0. I could be here all day, but we're just lacking a little bit of pace. So fair play, Valtteri, mate. Big lap from him. We fall just short, 26.0. Let's run you through a replay and the setup. So the tyres were set to soft S1, which is essentially the C4 tyre, which is what they ran in the Real Life Grand Prix. Pressures 16 psi across the board. Fuel set to 5 litres, enough for 2.1 laps, literally just enough for an out lap and a race lap. Electronics, hot lap, no recovery on the battery to have maximum power available, and motor on the MGUH. Also, engine brake pretty high on this one. I may have possibly could have gone maxed out as well to have all engine brake in certain corners. Aero very high at 20 on the front and 25 on the rear. Alignment default, dampers default, generic. 52 bias for the lap, possibly 51.5. Dampers default suspension. I kept the ARB front the same. I reduced the rear ARB by a couple of clicks. I also reduced the wheel rate by a bit, and then also brought down the ride heights on the front and the rear. And then suspension advance is default with steering assist maxed out for better force feedback, and halo irrelevant. But there we have it, guys. Hopefully you enjoyed another episode with the W11 Beast, and I feel like this mod is excellent, but maybe it lacks a little bit of track/grip accuracy because we've fallen short a few times now in these videos. But nonetheless, great fun to drive this car, full of downfalls and full of joy. And we go again in the next one, guys. So like the video, subscribe. As always, check the links down below, guys, for the car. The track is DLC for Assetto Corsa, so bear that in mind. And yeah, as always, a big shout out to the members for supporting the channel and the content. Check out the 2 videos on screen if you haven't seen them already. And yeah, guys, cheers for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Take care, and that's goodbye from me.